Got another good topic for you today. I know that most of the time I speak with business owners or people in management positions. And let me just say that I think it's important for people when they are thinking about starting a business or buying a business that might already be in existence. It almost takes two different skill sets. A lot of those skills can overlap, but when you start a business, it's a little different than maintaining a business. Actually, it's a lot different. When you start a business, you have the energy, you have the drive, you have the goals, you have that vision, it's the newness, it's the excitement, and you can, for that short term, be pushing that car that was at a standstill. So when you always want to imagine that when you're starting a business, you are pushing that car from a standstill. And once it gets going, it's a little easier. Now, in the future, when the business is rolling and you move into more of a management position, that pushing that car every day might get a little tiresome. And that heaviness comes in. That's what we call the grind. But in the beginning, man, it's exciting. It's exciting for the family. It's exciting for everybody. Some of the things you have to have, whether you're starting the business or maintaining the business, obviously, sales, marketing, you got to be on top of that. You've got to be on top of communication. And when you start the business, you need to be brave. You need to go and ask. You ask for advertising, you ask for opportunities to be in front of people or opportunities to buy your product. You just beat the bushes any way you can through the internet and knocking on doors. However you need to get the word out. The more people that know about what you do, the better, right? And then with that new business, you have to balance the life, so to speak, because you probably have a family. And if you don't have a family, hey, that's even better. The Bible says you should build your barns before you build your house. That stands to reason that you need to get the business going probably before you have a family, because there comes a different balance there. So if you got whatever you got to pour into that business to start, it needs it. Now, let's talk about once the business gets going. This is just kind of the crux of the topic I want to talk about today, because the excitement and the newness of the business after it's been there for about a year kind of starts to fade, even after about 6 or 8 months. The day-to-day grind, pushing that car, the mundane stuff you have to do over and over again to keep that business alive. It's a different skill set. If you are buying up business that's already in existence, or you have grown to the level where you have to have employees, now we're talking about a business that has to have a management system. And you have to be a good manager. It's kind of different than being a one-person show starting the business. Some people are better by themselves. They don't get along with other people too well. They can be great entrepreneurs running a business or doing something where they're a one-person show. They might have someone helping them part-time. And then there are other people, they work together. They work a whole lot better with a whole team around them. So it just depends on how you're wired. So we have to be able to communicate. We have to know when to delegate. We have to use time management. We have to learn which fights to pick. So there's two different skill sets, I think. And skill sets might not be the right word, but there's two different attitudes when you're talking about entrepreneurship. There's the starting the business, and then there's the maintaining the business. Hopefully, if you started the business right, when you start maintaining the business, you can put people in key positions that you're not good at, so that the business can be maintained better. And some of that stuff might involve partners, but partnership is an entirely different conversation. The manager or the owner of the business, if they're highly involved, needs to be able to juggle a lot of balls at one time. When you're starting the business, there's less balls to juggle. You just have to go out there and get people. You have to get clients. You have to make sales, whatever it is. It's just like a couple things you have to really focus on. Well, when the business is grown enough to where it needs to be maintained, there's a whole lot that needs to be done and a whole lot of balls to juggle at one time. And that takes a different skill set. So today I want you to really think about identifying where you're at. Are you really starting the business, or are you maintaining the business? And if you're feeling that, I don't feel that excitement anymore, that's normal, because you are in the grind, so to speak. Not in a negative way. There's ups and downs all the time, but that process still needs to stay consistent. So consistency is the key to maintaining that business, and your systems need to be right and steady, consistent all the time. Because when one little piece goes out, it has a domino effects and it affects other people or affects other systems in the business. I want you to identify that there are two phases, or there's a lot of phases, but two we're talking about today in the entrepreneurship, starting a business, the startup and then the management of it, or the maintaining of that business. And you might feel like, well, the startup excitement has dwindled and now we're into reality for a while. And we have to have good people around us. We have to know what we need to do to maintain it. We have to be consistent with the systems. We have to be steady, 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 steady. And in the end, we will have a business that's highly profitable, but we have to maintain it. And if we don't have that skill set, we have to put people in place to be able to do that. So I hope this helps some of you guys. If you like the content, please subscribe. There's more coming.